All right, we only have a couple more problems here. Number 21, use the initiator and generator given below to draw a fractal, the next 3 stages of fractal. Okay, I'm going to do this by hand, and because that's what you will be doing, I guess, on your exam. I guess you can use straight edge and make it really neat, but you don't have to. You just have to show me that you know how to do this, right? The principle behind this. All right, so let's talk first, okay? Just talk to me about what the generator does. Well, compared to the initiator, which is one segment, the generator just adds 2 perpendicular shorter edges to both ends, right? So this is what we call step 0, and this is called step 1. The generator is always step 1. So let's do step 2. Okay, step 2 would include all of step 1, so you can draw this. Okay, and in step 2, notice here, I mean, here we had 2 edges, right? And so you added 2. Now we have 4 endpoints. So you're going to have to add 4 smaller edges. Okay. And then in step 3, let's go ahead and draw step 2. It looks like a skeleton of a car or something, you know, with 4 wheels and the axle. Well, so you, and by the way, you notice here in step 0, you had 2 endpoints. In step 1, you had 4 endpoints. Every time the number of endpoints is doubling. So you have, you know, you have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you know, 8, right? So you're going, I'm about to add 8 small segments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's step number 3. I'm supposed to do the next 3 stages. And so let's do step 4 because that's first, second, and third. All right, so I am going ahead. Let's go ahead and start all over again. So this is step 1. Step 2 was like this. Step 3 is like that. This is where we stopped, and we have 16 endpoints. So we're going to add 16 new segments. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that is the end of step number 4 and the end of this problem here. Okay, so that is what we will end up with. And you can continue to do this, and eventually you will end up with a fractal image, but that is not what we want to spend time on. All right, the last question, number 22. The pipe below is not drawn correctly. So this is not drawn to scale or drawn to perspective. Okay, remember, because this part will be, you know, this part is closer to the view, the viewing eye, and this is farther. So this should get smaller, right? So here's the vanishing point provided for us. This is a principal vanishing point. So what do? All right, so this is what you do. You take your straight edge and you draw a line, sort of a tangent to the circle, which means that it meets in one point. And so that is a little better way. And, you know, actually, I mean, if you really want to, you can make this like a dotted line, because these are not the real lines that you want, right? So this may be a good thing to do first. All right, and then this cylinder ends somewhere. So you may want to do something like this. Now this circle will be smaller because this circle is farther away from this front face of the pipe, right? Okay, and now at this point, what you want to do is make it maybe thicker, or with a more of a solid line. Okay, just following this like this, and yeah, okay, so that's it, and that's about it. All right, so if you have you want to make sure that these 2 edges, if extended, would reach the principal vanishing point. I would, if I were you, I would leave these dotted lines just so you know, it's clear that these lines extend to meet at that principal vanishing point. And it does look more realistic, right? Because this is drawn to perspective. Okay, so that's it for practice for test number 3. I hope you will do very well on this test number 3. And I hope you will have a great day. Please take care.